Today is July 24th, 1993. We just finished a picnic dinner with our family in the front yard. And we thought we'd have Mom and Dad talk about their pioneer ancestry a little bit.
Elizabeth, come in. Hello.
Yeah, sure.
Well, before I talk about my pioneer ancestry, I'd like to tell you that today, when I was watching the parade on television, the 24th of July parade, they said it would be 147 years now since the pioneers came into the valley. And I was so astounded to think of everything that has been accomplished in 147 years in this valley, in this area, and with the church. I just was astounded as I thought about that, and I realized that I am as old as half of that because I'm 75, and that means that when I was born, they'd only been here for 70 years, and I thought that 70 years was forever. Now I know 70 years isn't very long. Anyway, I was astounded at the progress and at the things that have happened since the pioneers came, and actually that was possible because the gospel is on there, or it wouldn't have happened. You know, it wouldn't have happened like this. It wouldn't have become like it was. And speaking of pioneer ancestry, when I think of the real pioneers, I guess my ancestors that came from Scotland
I can give
are the ones that I'm amazed about. To think of them joining the church with their neighbors and their friends and their ministers of their churches ridiculing them and making fun of them for joining, and yet they knew the gospel was true, and so they joined anyway. And they were poor, but they were wonderful. And I met just last month with quite a few of my cousins who are my age, and talking about our ancestors, and I was so proud of them. And there weren't any really wealthy ones. They were just medium people, just middle class.
They were miners, weren't they? They were miners.
No, I mean the people here now, my cousins and things.
I see.
They were things like school teachers and farmers and things like that. But they were so good, and I thought, how wonderful. Two of them had been on several missions as couples besides when they were young. And one couple had been working in the temple. They were working out, and she was my age. She was 75. Actually, she was 76. And she and her husband went to the temple at that age. For the last 15 years, they've been going 3 days a week to the temple. And they've just asked them to go another day a week, and they're going to go. And I think how wonderful my ancestors, how wonderful for those dear, sweet, good people who came from Scotland and struggled over here and didn't have very much while they were here. They worked so hard to give us a start, and and how wonderful it is for them to have so many of their children and grandchildren so active and doing so well and being such good, honest, worthy people. Okay, then you want one more?
Yeah.
One more thing? I was thinking about my great-grandfather, Edmund Ellsworth, who was the leader of the first handcart company that came across the plains. And I think of them pushing hand carts or pulling them all that way and thinking what a chore to be the head of that company and to be able to encourage and be responsible for them all and take care of them all. And I'm proud of him too.
It's a 1,500-mile trip. 1,500 miles.
Okay, that's
Let's hear a little bit about Dad's.
I'll let Dad tell
Family.
you about this.
Well, I think my ancestors came from England, both sides.
Speak up a little bit.
The Packer name was quite a common name, and they came to England from France. When
Is that a French name?
the Conqueror, William the Conqueror came to England in about 1050 AD, and they lived and they raised sheep mostly. And one of my ancestors was the secretary to the Prime Minister of England, and then his son also became secretary to the Prime Minister, and one of his sons came to the United States, and so and then they moved out to Kirtland, and where one of my grandfathers joined the church, and then he and his wife moved out to Utah, and he had about a dozen children, and 7 or 8 of those were boys, so the Packer name was spread then all through the western United States because of that.
In the house.
And then down from that line, my grandfather moved up to Logan and farmed up there. My dad farmed there with them for a while, and then he went to school. But as far as the pioneers part is concerned, my grandfather Merrill, when he was 18, came across the plains and then went back several times with teams to bring other pioneers over.
Went back to Missouri.
Here back to Missouri. Well, back to Iowa, where Council Bluffs. And then he used to travel and he also was involved in the Indian Wars up at Bear River, just out of Preston. And he remembers I don't know the names of
Be Bear River, Idaho.
I don't remember the chief name, but they had.
What was his name?
His name was
Samuel Merrill. And that was
my
your mother's father.
And he farmed. He also had a coal yard, which he left to one of his sons. And then one day a carload of coal came in, and he went to help them shovel it out of the car, into the pile, and had a heart attack.
And died.
So, but that's really the extent of my knowledge of the pioneers of my grandparents.
How did the Packers come west?
They came west.
Your father, he came west. Go ahead.
He was born here.
My
Yes.
father was born here. My grandfather was born here. My great-grandfather was born in Utah. And my grandfather before that was the one that came west from Nauvoo.
And had the 8 children,
Had the
8 boys.
boys.
And we'll,
And how is
His
Isaac
name was
related to you?
His name was Nathan Williams.
that's
His,
right.
his father was Moses, and Moses Packer joined the church. So that's my fifth grandfather back. I'm a five-generation member of the church.
Did he join the church in England or?
No, in
here?
Kirtland. What was your question, Ann?
Oh, where does Isaac come in?
I don't know. He's
Just remember that
one of
name.
the different. He came down, I think, one of the other lines of Nathan Williams Packer's sons.
Now Boyd K is from one of the other names
Boyd K is from one of the other lines of that.
of Nathan's.
Well, he's one of the other lines of Nathan.
That it goes back to the same origin then?
Same grandfather.
The one that's fifth back. Right
From you, but
from
fourth back
from you.
from you too.
Okay, so you're the fourth cousin was
Mom?
removed.
Yes.
We're the fifth
Mom?
cousin.
Mom?
Fifth cousin.
Fourth cousin twice removed.
Is that it?
We knew,
Fifth twice?
no, just once. Just once. Well, I'd have to figure it out. I'm not
I'm twice.
We
removed.
figured it out once.
I'm forever removed.
No.
Tell
The
me.
thing that impresses me about pioneer days is the realization
Yes.
that those folks went through so much suffering with being driven from one state or town or county after another to Nauvoo, and then they finally came west because they were being persecuted, and so many were killed, and they had to go through so much suffering. And when they came out here, they lived in caves in the side of the hill, and
Until they could build
until they could
houses.
build a home. And then they built log homes with sod roofs, and they still kept their culture. In that they taught, they started up English, they started up schools immediately, and they started up arts like operas and plays and things like that. The first year they were here, and then they just went right ahead and carried those kinds of things through. Some of them brought their pianos across the plains with them. And I just am amazed at the stamina and devotion that those folks had in order to maintain their standard of living that they wanted to maintain, and how blessed we are
Goodbye.
to have had that kind of culture handed right on down to us. And the gospel is the fundamental base for all of that, for that culture. And when I think even in my life, even now, in many of the eastern states, like West Virginia, and some areas of Kentucky, and so forth, they are living in homes that don't have running water, they don't have electricity, and they don't have inside bathrooms, even today. And I've never lived in a home that didn't have those things as a matter of course. And it's just amazing to me how thankful I am that my parents and grandparents maintained that kind of refinement and passed it on down to us. I never will be able to repay them for that, and the longer I live, the more I'm made aware of my dependence on them for these kinds of things. And we see, as we look around the countries, we see the third world countries and the standard of living they have, even the standard of living that they have generally in England and Spain and some of the other essentially civilized countries. They don't have the culture and the things that we have right here in Wasatch Front, western United States. And I'm just so thankful for those grandparents. So when we celebrate the 24th of July, it brings tears to my eyes and a welling up of emotion in my heart, just with thanksgiving and appreciation.
And us too. As you talk about that, it makes me feel the same way about you guys and all of the blessings that we have enjoyed having been raised with parents like you.
But the gospel has been so easy for us, and it was so hard for our grandparents. I mean, they suffered for it. We just are blessed by it. We really haven't suffered like they did.
Yeah. We haven't really had to pay a price to be enjoying the gospel.
We haven't had to pay the price. They were enjoying things that we didn't earn. You know.
Well, hopefully our children will be able to benefit from not having to go through that, and the blessings of being able to live the way we do will help us further the work that much faster and that much farther.
Yes, we've tried to do that. We've
And
tried to.
that's right. And I hope
Like
that
going
that's-
on missions and providing for your children to go on missions and grandchildren to go on missions.
I think
I
that's
mean-
really the Lord's plan is that people will keep the commandments. They will be blessed to that extent. They will not be in need of the physical things to make their lives happy, so that they can spend their time
Furthering
preaching
the work.
gospel, so to speak, or spreading the principles of the gospel around the world,
Building up the
building up
saints.
the kingdom.
The saints one way or another.
Because our purpose for being here is to help our Heavenly Father bring His children back to Him. And I'm sure that we committed ourselves when we left there to come to the earth. We committed ourselves to help Him, to do all we could to bring His children back to us. And so that's what we try to do.
That's true. Well, thank you very much.
This has been such a beautiful day. We had such a terrible day. I mean, it was cold and rain, storms, thunderstorms, and wind yesterday and last night. We didn't dream it was going to be so beautiful and so wonderful today.
What do you remember about the celebrating of Pioneer Days when you were kids? What did you used to do to celebrate Pioneer Day? I remember in Blackfoot, all the primary kids we'd dress up and pull our carts and ride our bicycles and go around the block or around the ward just a little bit.
Turn that around so
Oh,
I
did
can
I?
see you. No, turn it
No,
around.
that's all right. No, they can hear me.
I know, but our kids can't
And,
see you.
Well, we did that when we were young
Maybe you should
children.
sit with your parents.
We also what was there when we were young that they always had a parade in Blackfoot, or in Rexburg, on the 25th of July.
I remember 4th of July parades, but I don't remember very much about 24th.
And as we got married and had our children, we came to Salt Lake to watch the parade there.
And we would rent a room in the Hotel Utah that was a corner room, so we could look out and watch the parades. Do you remember that?
Without having to go down on the street.
I don't remember that.
I asked them.
I remember that vaguely, but I remember being in the Hotel Utah. I remember staying there. And I imagine that the times that we did were usually on the 24th or 4th or something. And I remember playing in the elevators and being in the lobby with the big chandelier and all those fun little things.
I
Can't
remember,
wait to go down there.
I remember one meeting we had there one time we were there, and I remember especially that Alan was just a young man, been home, just come home from his mission, I believe, before he was married. Was it? Could have been before he went on his mission. And he was expressing himself with appreciation for for what we as parents had been able to provide for them as children, and the love that we had in our family, and also to express to the children that at that time, he expressed to the children that they shouldn't be jealous, so to speak, of Mother and me and what we had, and expect us to just give it to them. He says, we are growing up and we need to take care of ourselves.
It was,
I thought that was quite an insightful thing for someone his age.
it was interesting because he was a little bit annoyed with probably Richard and Kelly because they were scuffling or they were asking for too much or doing something that was,
Just fell down.
or doing something that was not, that he didn't think they should be doing, and he thought you should be, the children should be more respectful of their parents and appreciate what wonderful parents they had. It just kind of interesting, shocked us, surprised us. That's all.
Well, I think that's good advice. I don't think we can ever express enough appreciation or have it expressed to us enough. It's one of the difficult things about life is being appreciated.